What's good? What's good? It's the one, the only, but what do I know? Boxing coming back at y'all with another one, man. So we got Gary Antoine Russell, actually my favorite fighter at 140 pounds. They have debunked the rumor that he was signing with Matchroom, leaving PBC. As you guys can see, this is Gary Russell's verified, Gary Allen Russell's verified account, Gary Russell Jr., Mr. Gary Russell, whatever you want to say, verified account, and he states that this is not true. All right, now that to me is an unfortunate thing. All right, as a matter of fact, it was rumored, if you guys don't know, it was rumored that well, obviously because of this you have to know that it was rumored that Gary Antoine Russell was gonna leave the PBC and join Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing. Now I was excited when I heard that news. As a matter of fact, I was so excited that I even looked up the article. Take a listen. At the Boxing 24, it says Gary Antoine Russell jumping ship to Matchroom and DAZN. Gary Antoine Russell rumored to be jumping ship to leave the PBC to sign with Eddie Hearn Matchroom Boxing to fight on DAZN. Russell's potential to dethrone Haney. If Hearn can add Russell to his Matchroom stable, he would have one of the major young 140-pound contenders in the light welterweight division, poised to step in the throne Devin Haney of his WBC title. The Boxing Voice reports that Antoine Russell is rumored to be potentially signing with Eddie Hearn Matchroom. This would be a good move for him because it would keep him busy fighting top guys. I mean, I do agree with that. The WBC permitted Haney to keep his WBC title. I'm sorry, I should have said that the correct way. The World Boxing Council permitted Haney to keep his WBC title, despite losing to Ryan Garcia last Saturday night. Russell is ranked number 2 WBC and is in position to fight for a world title soon. Ooh, I hope that fight gets made. Russell's activity is a concern. Russell, who is at the age of 27, would have likely already challenged for a world title if he had kept busy by PBC in the last couple of years. Antoine Russell has the record of 17-0 with 17 knockouts, has fought 4 times since 2020, and hasn't fought since August 2023. If Russell doesn't join with Matchroom, it would give Hearn if Russell does join up with Matchroom, it will give Hearn these fighters in the stable at 140. Devin Haney, Subriel Matias, Liam Pro, Richardson Hitchens, and Regis Prograis. All of those which would be great fights for for Gary Antoine Russell. That's why I feel like Gary Antoine Russell needs to leave the PBC. I'm sorry, but the PBC, they're just not doing good by my boy. They're not. My boy is young, bro, and in his prime, 27 years old. Bro, he needs to be active, bro. But anyways, Hearn is playing Monopoly at 140, collecting all the major pieces in the division, controlling the weight classes to set up the biggest fights. That's great for boxing fans and for the fighters, many whom are languishing in obscurity before signing with him. Antoine Russell's possible matchup. Gary Antoine Russell would likely beat Haney, Prograis, and Hitchison. Matias and Perro will be tough fights for Russell because those matches would require him to go to war and outslug these guys. If Hearn can add Antoine Russell to his stable, WBO light welterweight champion Teofimo Lopez, who is signed with Top Rank and fights, it says flights, but they meant to say fights on ESPN, would have to cross the pond and fight in a joint broadcast contest if he wants to face any of the guys with Hearn's Matchroom promotions that competes on DAZN. All right, so Gary Antoine's recent fights has been against Kent Cruz, which was August 2023, Rances Bartholomew, which was July 2022, Victor Postal, which was February 2022, and Santiago, which was May 2021. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Now, once again, this is not good news to me because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like I said before, I felt like the PBC was not moving Gary Antoine Russell in the correct way. And the reason why I said that is because, once again, the man is a hot phenomenon. He could possibly, Gary Antoine Russell can take over boxing. Former Olympian. He beat Jerron Boots Anderson in the amateurs. I know that's the amateurs, but I'm just saying, like, the man could possibly take over 140 pounds, but he's not active enough. And because because he's not active enough, we don't see him a lot. And because we don't see him a lot, nobody's really just begging for those fights. I always stated, right, and I'm on record stating this. I feel like besides Teofimo Lopez, check out my old videos. Besides Teofimo Lopez, I feel like Gary Antoine Russell would give Devin Haney a very tough, difficult fight, and that's just the honest to God truth, because bro, Gary Antoine Russell deserves his shot, bro, but he's not active enough for us to even push him to make a fair point. We all know boxing moves by politicians, right? It's a political sport, so if we're not seeing Gary Antoine Russell a lot, then that means out of sight, out of mind. Nobody's gonna really talk about him enough for him to get a title shot. It'd be swept under the rug. The man is 27 years old, in the prime of his career, only fighting once a year. All right, bro. I stated this in the last video. All right, it's impossible to make a star only fighting once every few years, or only fighting once a year. You're never gonna be a star doing that. You're not gonna be able to build a star in boxing by doing that. That's not gonna happen. So what has to happen is you have to allow these fighters to fight more often. And the only way, to me, it seems like the only way Gary Antoine Russell will fight more often is if he leaves the PBC. That's always been my biggest issue with the PBC since about 2018, I want to say. All these major fighters are only fighting once a year. How are you gonna build? How do you expect to? And then you got the nerve to throw these fighters on pay-per-view. Like, how do you expect to build a successful pay-per-view or a successful star only fighting once a year? It's just not gonna happen. Gary Antoine Russell needs to be fighting a lot more. I don't even care if it's against guys that are not well known, but the 140-pound division is more than stacked. More than stacked. Look at just in the 140-pound division, like just in the division alone, not going by sanctioning bodies or whatever, but you got Devin Haney, you got Isaac Cruz, you got Ismael Barrosa. That's the guy that a lot of people felt like really should have beaten Rolly, and they stopped the fight too soon. Tony Weeks stopped the fight too soon. You got Subriel Matias, you got Teofimo Lopez, you got Sandor Martin, you got obviously Gary Antoine Russell, you got Richardson Hitchens, I'm sorry. Hitchens, I always feel like his name was hard to pronounce. Richardson Hitchens. Africa, that's exactly why I just call him Africa. You got Africa, you got Jack Catterall, you got Arnold Barboza, all right? Ryan Garcia is not really in the loop anymore. He says he's moving up to 147. You got Jermaine Ortiz, you got Regis Prograis, you got Alberto Puello, who really nobody's defeated to get his title. He got it stripped. You know what I'm saying? You got all these fighters, bro. Jose Ramirez, Josh Taylor, Liam Paro. Bro, this division is just stacked on top of stacked with fighters. And then not to mention where Gary Antoine Russell is highly ranked at, bro, just in the WBC alone, you have obviously Devin Haney, that's the kingpin at 100 in the WBC. He has the belt, right? So you got Sandor Martin, you got Africa, you got Jack Catterall, Arnold Barboza. All right, did I even mention Arnold Barboza? If I didn't, Arnold Barboza, Jose Ramirez, Jermaine Ortiz, Regis Prograis, Michelle Rivera. All these fighters ranked in his weight class, in his sanctioning organization alone, bro. Gary Antoine Russell needs to be active. And the one thing that I love about Matchroom Boxing is Eddie Hearn is going to make sure his fighters are active, man. So, bro, if I wish that Gary Antoine Russell, I wish that this was not just a rumor. I wish that this was like, bro, it's too many fighters out there for this man, bro. And possibly he can beat all of those guys, bro. Shay, what's the dude's name that lost to Subriel Matias? Shahad Ergashkev. He just actually fought a few weeks ago and got a knockout. That's it, bro. Like, bro, the division is way too stacked to be moving Gary Antoine Russell the way he's been moved. So yes, I would love for Gary Antoine Russell to get a fight. To move over to Matchroom Boxing. That needs to happen, man. I mean, because obviously I feel like he's not going, his legacy is not elevating with the PBC. Unfortunately, that's just the truth. It's not elevating at all. Man, it's just frustrating, bro. It really is frustrating, all right? But, you know, regardless, man, let me know what you guys think, man. I pray that Gary Antoine, because I like Gary Antoine Russell a lot. He's my favorite fighter at 140, outside of Devin Haney, outside of the two champions, Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. So let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. But what do I know?